Hi.
Okay, so today, hi, we are
Hi,
talking to
hi.
Leslie. We are talking to Lesley Awino today, and she's going to tell us all about being a virtual assistant in this economy. And I know, like, it's a worldwide thing, this economy. When you say in this
Mm,
economy right now, it's like everywhere is suffering from the same problems.
mm,
But I think even with everyone suffering from the same problems,
mm.
Kenya is a special case with like must go in charge. So we're just like wanting to talk about this field which is not very common locally, and that is being a virtual assistant. I first came across virtual assistants on Upwork. Like when I was searching
Mm,
for
mm.
jobs, people wanting virtual assistants. They seem to like a lot of guys from Philippines. Yeah,
Yes,
Philippines
they do.
seems to be like the most popular destination for people
Mm.
wanting virtual assistants. So I have never met a Kenyan virtual assistant. So it would be good, like maybe you start with like introducing yourself and maybe telling us how did you decide on this field?
So,
Like
hi,
give us
hi.
background,
Sorry?
like give us some background.
Hi, hi. So, I am Lesley Awino, a virtual assistant, but I didn't always start, I didn't start off like this. I started off actually wanting to be like a novelist, writer, and I floundered there for a while, and then I figured, like, what one of the things apart from writing, one of the skills that I know that I have is support. That is in terms of support, like event. When someone has an event, I can support the process of from start to finish, essentially finding suppliers, finding what, and that translates very well. Not just that, but also writing documents, things like that. So I figured there must be something I can do to make money that actually takes these skills as opposed to taking writing. Because honestly speaking, writing as a means of getting money, oof, don't when they tell you don't turn your hobbies into making money making ventures, eh, there's a reason. For me, it started like killing that creativity. Like I know it's not the same for everybody, but for me in particular, it started killing that
Yes, I
creativity. So
remember.
that's mhm.
I remember because you and I met because I started
Yeah,
a writing group,
yeah,
and
yeah.
for a while, I actually started that writing group because of the fact
Hmm.
that there is not much of a structure to the literary community in Kenya. Like I think it's a bit better now, but like
Mm.
10 years ago,
It's still
there
not
was
quite
no,
as mm,
yeah, but there was no structure. So I just
mm,
wanted to see if I can get like people who are interested in writing, get them like together to kind of
mm.
organize, have a little bit of
Yeah.
organization. So I mean, I know you had a blog. I don't know if you
Yes.
still have it.
No.
So
Actually, I stopped I've had several blogs with different like writing whatever niches, I suppose you could say. Then most recently I had a newsletter. And that
and how were you trying to make money from that? Were you like
initially it
this was
was
supposed to be a venture? How
oh
were
no,
you
for
like
those for the blogging and
using?
newsletter, it was those are essentially passion projects. How I was trying to make money from writing was essentially pivoting to content writing, writing social media posts for people, writing press releases, blog posts, etc., etc. That sort of thing. And I was just like, this is not what got me into writing, and I do not have the heart to continue like this. So I
It was
started pivoting.
soul destroying.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. It
Sorry?
was soul destroying. It was kind
Yes.
of like soul destroying to make it commercial.
Yes.
I get it.
And
I get it.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started looking into, because that was what, 2020, yeah, thereabout. No, was it 2020? No, it was not 2020, it was 2019. Then I started looking into what else I can do. That's when I started floundering with like being at customer service, call centers, things like that, which is a different kind of soul destroying. But that's where I came to learn that I actually have it in me to support people, not just in customer service in terms of like supporting them through a process of learning what product they need to do, like whatever to solve whatever problem that they have, but also I don't know because while I was doing customer service during that period of time, I also started like being in events on occasion, these short gigs where you're called to come help people do set up the event, maybe for example, Story Moja, where we would also go and talk to schools to see if they can bring their students to the Story Moja event, setting up the event space
Okay.
itself, uh, supporting through like essentially being the watu wa mikono, the technical team who
So
support
was it
was it like,
like
sorry?
voluntary, or was it voluntary, or was it paid when you're doing these gigs?
It's more like
Were you
I'd say paid. I'd say paid, but it's not paid in the sense that you go home with something serious. No, it's more like a thank you. So
Yeah, obvious.
you'd consider it like voluntary because that would essentially
So it was
cover
like
like
bus fare.
maybe. Mhm. Sorry.
It's like being given bus fare and lunch, basically.
Yeah, essentially. But through that, I came to learn that I actually have it in me to do support for people, whether it is because I continued that for quite some time. And then I realized those are the other skills that I have. I don't have to necessarily use writing as my main money making venture. I can do support. So that's when I started going into research of like, okay, what kind of support can I do? Because at that point, I'd also had some customer service and call center and writing gigs, which were work from home. So I was like, is there a way that I can do this from home without necessarily going? Because, hey, man, working and then you're the commute is something serious. There was like, no, I don't want this for me. It's not
Um,
my portion.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
I
when
know.
I got to. So that's when I got to like virtual assistants when I started doing the research. Yeah. So that's how it
Oh,
landed there.
Now, could you expand more on what research did you do exactly? What was the research that you did? To if someone is
Honestly,
like,
it started
okay,
off.
I want to go into
Mhm. Okay, so
like if
it
someone
was
is
more
like, I
like
want to
I
go
was
into
looking
this
at.
field.
Mhm, mhm. So
No,
essentially, what
continue.
what I started off with was like customer. Essentially, what I started off with was like searching for customer service jobs that I can do at home. Then doing research the way that I do it, I tend to go into all the tendrils that you could look into as far as customer service. Then I'd actually considered doing data analysis at some point, but then I also started looking at how short of a timeline can I look at for me to transition into this? What do I need to know? How can I get to learn it? Because also another thing, when it came to that, learning how to be a virtual assistant, like even just the basics, was what I came on YouTube and YouTube University taught me like some of the things that are required for virtual assistants, at the very least the basics. It will take you a long time to learn
Such
on the
as
job, but sorry.
such as what are
Yeah,
the
so
what are the basics?
basics like learning how to do the entire of Google Workspace, like into all the nooks and crannies. Specifically Excel sheets, like planning a trip for somebody, using Google Workspace and the the associated applications like say for example using Tripit or let's see what else, things that you'd need to plan for a trip, doing the research involved for planning a trip for somebody, given what certain parameters. So like there are certain basics in terms of just using those, then using the community things like Slack and such. Like some of those things I had actually used them prior to considering being a virtual assistant. But there are
Yeah.
some, you know how basically anybody who's been through like a computer college of any sort would think that they know how to use Microsoft Word very well, how to use Google Excel and things like that. But then there's some people who
Yeah.
use it to create certain systems, and you're like, how? What? Wait. So now those
Yeah. Yeah.
that deeper knowledge is
The
not the
deeper,
basics that
the
I'm
deeper
talking
thing.
about. Yeah, those are not the basics that I'm talking
Okay.
about. And when I started using YouTube University, that's when I was like, because other virtual assistants were like, yes, you can start offering services here and here and here on Upwork and Fiverr and whatever the case may be. But a lot of the things you also need
Mm-hmm.
to use your existing network first of all, because that's usually the best how do I put it? The best marketing tool you can use, your existing network, starting to expand, seeing people in real life. So, like when I learned that, first of all, I was freaked out because I'm not, for the longest time, I've not been one of those. Like, I can sit down and have a conversation with
I
you,
think you
even a
have
stranger, and we'll be fine.
yeah.
But at marketing
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
know.
like, for the longest time, that terrified me. And then
Mm.
I was like, let me go and find out where I can learn at least the basics of virtual assistance, what I would genuinely need to do and be able to market myself with. Then that's how I landed on like Lex virtual assistants, that course, the short course. Then I was like, okay,
I don't
from
know
here
it.
I'll be able to work. Okay. So ALX, they offer short courses to, the whole point is actually to give virtual courses to people who would want to go into different fields like data analytics, whether it is um, virtual assistants, what else do they do? Cybersecurity, they also do AI. They do basically anything. If you can, if you have a laptop and at least 1,000 bob, you can learn something.
What do you mean at least
Mm.
1,000 bob? Like, is that the
Cause
fee
the,
or
cause yeah, that's the fee. So like for my
the
virtual assistant
for per
course,
course?
it was like
Uh-huh.
500 bob per month. And then they
Oh, for
take
how
you
many
through
months?
two. That's why I said like at
Oh,
least 1,000 you can start with something. So they have short courses which you can do for like 2 months.
yeah.
Others are longer, of course, and things like that.
Yeah.
But at least that can give you something. And then you just basically spend like 500 per month. At this point, I don't
So
think they're going to change later on.
yeah. So the website is called ALX, literally
Yes, yes.
ALX.com.
Yes,
Okay.
alxafrica.com. Yeah. So
ALXafrica.com.
yes.
Wow.
So now
Okay.
that one is like, what was it? It's from African Leadership International because it's like a, how do I put it? You know how there are some courses which are done, like for example, sign language. They're offered in a church, for example, but it's as a what? I don't want to say a subsidiary. It's more like, hello?
Complimentary?
It's something that
What
in conjunction with the main university, like you and like,
conjunction with the
okay,
church?
I'm giving an
Uh,
example. I'm giving an example based off of the same language course I did. Like it's your end that's offering it, but they're using the church as sort of like a
outreach. It's sort of
satellite
like out.
campus.
I know yeah, I know the word you're looking for, but it's just gone also.
Yeah.
But it's like they offer
So
it and then the church provides facilities for you to sit there and do the work,
Yes,
and the
exactly.
teacher comes there.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I can't remember
So
what.
like
Yeah,
yeah, so but the main thing is you understand what I'm saying. So like
yeah.
AI, African Leadership International is the main whatever uh, educational what
Organization
faculty
hub,
system
hub.
organization, yes. And then ALX is sort of like
Yeah,
that branching off from ALI, if that
is a
makes sense.
subsidiary.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's
Okay.
that's yeah.
Okay. Mm.
So now
I
from there,
actually
that's when
had
you're like,
never heard. Oh.
yeah. So that's what they're doing. The aim being to capture the young people who do not have jobs at present, to essentially help them
Mhm.
be able to enter the global workspace, global marketplace much more easily.
Oh,
Mm,
okay. That's useful.
yes. Yeah, it is.
Mm.
They also have like
I wanted
me.
to ask about Google Workspace.
Mm-hmm,
Because it keeps being advertised on top of my Gmail, but it's
mm-hmm.
like it's I think you pay quite a bit of money for it, or is there
For
a free option
Gmail.
about the workspace?
Gmail in what sense? Like, no, like,
Not the
see,
Gmail,
Google Workspace, you can
Google
use it
Work.
for free, but
Mm,
it depends also on what kind of work you need to use it for. Because if it's you
mm-hmm,
just a person, you can use it for
mm.
free, no issue. But if it's you using it for organizational things, that's when the rub comes in. Like the question is, how do you want to use your Gmail? How do you want to use your Google Workspace in general? Mm. So that's the main
Okay,
question. And it has like different packages depending on what you require, what your needs are, and all.
okay. So maybe I stumbled upon the one which they want you to pay.
Yeah,
Go look at
maybe.
it again.
Mm.
Yeah.
Then also another
Okay,
thing,
so I think
mhm.
mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Also another thing, like
Continue.
in terms of Google Workspace, there's also this thing that they're doing where if you have like a lot of stuff backed up on your Google Photos, for example, if
Mm,
you have a lot of stuff there on storage, there's an
mm.
upper limit of about, is it 10 GB? So beyond that, they'll now start asking you, is it 8 or 10 GB? Thereabout. Then they'll start
Is it?
asking
It's not.
you to pay for more storage. There's also that. So it could be
Uh
that. Mm, so if in terms of
huh.
payment, that could also be another thing. So it really depends.
I'll go take another
Mm,
look. All right.
okay.
So continue. So you did the course.
Mhm.
You graduated, and then
Yeah.
what?
Then I started being like, okay, now I've done this course. What do I do? Because I was like, I had tried working on Fiverr, on Upwork, and I was like, those are not platforms that I'm very good with. Then I remembered,
You are. Okay. So like for Upwork, what was your virtual assistant experience as a Kenyan? Like,
oh, I have
were you
not,
getting
no, mhm. No, it's not. I
were
didn't.
you
I
getting
didn't try Upwork as a
opportunities?
virtual assistant. I did it as a writer. So at that point, was
Mm,
I'd
mm.
essentially as a writer, I'd done a bunch of different things. I'd been a content writer, I'd been an academic writer. I'd gone on Upwork and Fiverr and tried. I was like, these are not platforms that I'm very comfortable being on. And as far as I understand it, based off of the previous research I'd done, it's essentially the networks that you already have and the networks that you make face to face that help you best. So if that's the case, how can
Mhm.
I, as a virtual assistant, start doing this? So this is where business events started coming in. I started going for, because I also have a friend who does business events on occasion. That's where I started being like, huh,
Mhm.
how can I leverage these people that I know to start getting me connections to people that could help me. So I got invited for a business event of his. Then from there, I started talking to people, because the thing about those particular events is like they essentially encourage you not only to talk about how money works, but also your business, because that is how people are connecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from there, I was like, okay. I started making connections from there. That's actually how I joined a walking club, actually, and that's where I started also getting business again.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
yeah,
so
so it's
basically
essentially
it
face
can
to
be
face.
it can be sports, it can be events, it can be just like you ask your friends to ask their friends, all of those. Of
Yes,
of
basically
all the
make it
things
all
that
of
you
the above,
tried,
because mm, of all the things that
of
I've
all the
tried, the
things that
thing
you tried, which one was most successful in
of
getting
all the
you
things, it is
clients?
face-to-face
Like,
interactions. Face-to-face interactions.
hmm,
Basically, what I learned is that,
mm,
and because there's also another thing, even like within that ALX course, is another thing where you are supposed to sit
mm,
down and look at essentially all the connections you have and how
mm-hmm,
you can be able to help this person and maybe talk to them in such a way that they would think of you top of mind when it comes to whatever it is you're offering them, whether it is virtual assistant courses or knowing somebody who does something. Whenever they think of whatever they need to do, come it's research, if it's planning an event or whatever the case, you become the person top of mind. So one of the
okay,
things that we did in that course was actually to list down people we can talk to and how we can
mm-hmm.
talk to them and how we know them. So how to basically leverage your connections.
When you say how,
Because
when you say how you can talk to them, expand more on that. What does how you can talk to them mean?
so basically, like say I have a friend, for example, who would be the best example in this case? My friend Daniel. I met him from
Uh-huh.
a group on Twitter when there was back when everybody was on Twitter a lot, like when Corona had us all down
Mm,
bad. Now, a friend I
yeah.
met from Twitter, and then from there we became friends, like really talking about a lot of stuff from depression to how to make money and things like that. So for him, I would talk to him. Basically, you list down how you know this person and then how you talk to them, because this is already somebody already have a like close relationship with. I would be like, hey, I already like, hi, I'm looking into virtual assistants, and this is what I want to do. Like, if you want anything in terms of research done, or if you want help with planning an event, or whatever the case may be, or cleaning up your documents, something like that. Here. These are my rates. Like, this is how I work. So
Yeah.
I talk to this person on a regular basis. So for him, he also knows that this is what I do. But for somebody who I've met on, say, for example, this walking club, I would talk to them as we are walking, as opposed to on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for them, that instant connection, that instant, it would be top of mind for
Camaraderie.
them when we are meeting. Yes, after we've already
Yeah.
created that camaraderie. So that's why I
Yeah.
was questioning, how do I now make new face-to-face interactions, because it's the one thing Corona made me realize is that actually meeting people face to face is not that easy as an adult, because we don't have like
Yes.
structured places to meet. You have to literally be very intentional about where you're going
Yes.
to meet
And
people
also
and things like that.
when you're
Yes,
saying
and
face to face, how do you
mhm.
scale that so that, I mean, if all your business depends on you like being face to face, doesn't that limit the scope that you can do? Is there a way to expand that face to face
There
into,
probably there probably will be, but not at this point in time. Because right now, I'm still at. Hey, let me just show you something. Uh,
okay?
is there a way to change the whatever the shape of the the deer? I think I'll just show you like
I,
this.
I,
So like I have,
I
I
don't know.
don't
I
know if you
think you
can see
can.
this. Like
Uh-huh.
I actually created like a 5-year
But
plan.
I hope I'm not supposed to do it.
So right now I'm
Oh,
at like year one.
is that your
Yeah.
one?
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm like
Okay.
at year
I
one,
can
my
see that you're
foundation right
organized.
now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So so
So,
right here, I'm at like land 1 to 2 consistent VA clients. I've got the one, I'm looking for the two. So
okay.
like there's a point at which I'll need to scale, yes, but I'm not at that point right now. Right now, I'm basically building foundation for how the business is to work. You get? Because
Okay.
even for
So,
this like LX course, mhm,
I've been,
for this LX course, like I only
doing a lot
finished
of
it. Like what
noise.
was it? April. Mhm. Sorry. We're talking over each other. Sorry. Yeah, you're saying?
It's okay. So I've been, following a few accounts which talk about freelancing and making systems. So I've also been thinking about even my own business. I need to get
Mm-hmm.
systems in place for getting clients, retaining clients, all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at your stage. I haven't got a 5-year plan. So like, okay, your first year is to get clients, retain clients. But if you have a 5-year plan,
Mm-hmm. And
do you
start
have a
building
plan
like
for establishing those systems, or is it like when I get there? Is it a matter of when I get there? Right now, I need to get clients. What is your like, and how long have you taken to get to a point where you have like, now I have a business. I
mm-hmm.
have maybe just one regular client, but
Mm-hmm.
how long did it take from you said April? Yeah, you are just saying you were just talking about. So take us through.
Mm-hmm. So I began actually that course in April. So I finished in
Mm.
about, let me see, was it June? Yeah, so June,
April, May. Uh-huh.
May, June. Yeah. So now when I finished in June, that's when I started questioning
Mm-hmm.
myself. I was like, now how do I go about finding these people? Because clearly doing it online, like I'd tried doing online for quite some time and in a different field, but still, I was like, this is going to be very
Yeah.
challenging for me, and I do not want to take as
Mm.
much time as I did previously. So I started now essentially
Mm.
looking for social things I can do, which would which would put me in a position
Mm-hmm.
to meet people who could be my clients. So my plan at
Yeah.
that point was essentially to just find a place to meet people and meet people who can be my clients. That's when I started going to
Mm.
social things that I genuinely enjoy. And I'm actually lucky in the sense that I'm currently living with my parents, so I don't have so many, what's the word? So many bills to pay, so many uh,
Responsibility.
debts or anything like that. Yeah, responsibilities. I don't have so many responsibilities that would cause me to be like super stressed in that sense. So for me, my
Yeah.
job at that point was to be like, how do I get clients and in a way that I feel would be like sustainable. And at that point I had stopped
Yeah.
like writing my newsletter because I was like, subscribers are not coming, not as fast as I would like them to be, and they don't seem to be in the mood to
Yeah.
pay either. At that point, I had only like one person who was even willing to pay. So I was like, mm. So I said,
One person is who is
now
paying
from June, that's when I
consistently is
started
like,
doing all. No, he was paying like on a yearly basis. Like for him, it was a rollover yearly basis.
oh,
So I was like, it's only one person. I'm
okay.
like, yes, but this is not something that can feed my. Because at that point, I'd
Wow.
also sat down and been like, assuming I was to live alone, how much would I actually need?
Mm.
So I was like, this is
Yeah.
not enough. This is not enough. So at that
Yeah.
point, that's when I started this whole thing of going face to face, looking for people, talking to people, that sort of thing. And at that point, I'd like gotten
Mm.
one or two tasks, but it's only like this month that I really got like a consistent client, somebody who's come back and we know we're going to be moving forward later consistently. We actually
Mm.
have like we are putting in plans to work together long term. So it has taken me from
Don't forget
from the end of
to
June.
have a contract. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Don't forget to have a contract.
Eh,
Don't forget a contract.
yes. So Yes,
Written
so we are doing
contract.
that contract
Mm,
actually we are doing our contract tomorrow. Mm. So
congratulations.
at first it was just like a short task, and then from there now. Mm. So thank you. I'm happy about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see.
So from June to September, just take
Fro-
it from June to
yes, the
September,
end of
which
June
is
to
June,
now
July, August,
September.
September.
Yeah, 4
3 to 4
months. It's taken me
months
four
to
months.
get cis- your first consistent
Mm.
client.
Consistent client. Yeah. So yeah, that's how long it's
That's
taken me.
I think that's good. I think that's a
Mm.
not a soul destroying amount of time to get a
Not really,
client, I think.
cause yeah, cause I also
Yeah.
came to the came to the realization after talking to people who'd done like the VA course for a while. Because here's the thing, even before I took the VA course, I started doing market research. Like, okay, the people who've done this VA course, how long did it take them to get clients? Are they still struggling with clients? Where are they looking for clients? Things like that. That's why I stuck specifically on face to face, because this business of I kept hearing people who are on Upwork, on Fiverr, they're still having trouble. And I'm just like, no, thank you.
So
Yeah. So I'd
according
given
to your
myself like
market
6 months. Hmm. According
according
to
to your market research, what was
mm,
the average time for someone to do the course from when they do the course to when they get their first consistent client? What was the like average-ish?
now, as far as consistent clients, they're actually it was a very big number. What was it? I think somewhere between 8 to 12 months.
Eight to
Yeah, it was
twelve
eight to
months.
twelve
Wow.
months. Mm,
Okay.
because the thing is,
Mm,
people would not really look at consistent clients. They look at tasks. So I
mm,
want somebody to give me a task to do and pay me, rather than
yes.
how do I keep getting people to come and give me work and not just that, they also need to be consistent. So for them, they just have some work
Mm.
for a while, a short while, and then that was the main issue that
And then they're
I
like,
came across. Like
that's
people
done.
were
Next. Yeah.
because it's like people are essentially treating it like a job as opposed to like a business. Because in a business, you are the one who has to keep looking for where the money is coming from, not
Yeah.
just basically advertising and waiting for people to. It doesn't quite work like that, at least not in the beginning. Mm. So it's like,
Not
yeah,
not in any state. Mm.
true. It was just like, for
Mm.
me, I was thinking in the beginning, you have to do like a lot of work. So, like later on, when you have your name out there, it's not as hard to get people to get to you. And then you also have like a
Yes.
body of work which you can show people and clients so trusting you is not so hard, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah. Also, you have word of mouth and your business growing organically when you've
Mm.
when you've expanded it enough. At the beginning, it's a toil. It's a toil. You're just going uphill.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mm.
Mm.
So you were saying before I interrupted you yet again.
Hold on, what was I saying? I've thoroughly been interrupted. What was I saying?
Okay, so you are talking about how you're talking about your 5-year plan, and for now
Oh
for
yeah.
now you
So
have your one client. So question I had asked
mm,
was, what about your systems? When are you planning on those? What's your how are you planning to like expand on your 1 year? What's the way forward?
okay, so right now, like I've already started systems in terms of payment. Whenever payment comes in, it is this much, and it is like all that data as far as receipts are concerned and things like that. Because of course, KRA will come in later.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different story. And
Mm,
then also, um, in terms of if I should go back to my wall, because the thing is,
yeah.
I want to. I'm going to essentially pivot from being just an admin general VA, virtual assistant, to being a project manager, and then to technical. Eventually, the goal is to become a technical sales manager, but virtually.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay, so
What is a technical
here's the thing. Like,
manager?
the thing is, I want to break into cybersecurity. Because the thing about
Mm-hmm.
even working virtually, having a niche helps a lot in terms of increasing the amount of pay you get. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, let's see. Let me go back to the wall. So here we are like at
Okay.
year one, where I'm doing like
Mm-hmm.
landing 1 to 2 consistent VA clients, start building a basic portfolio and collecting testimonials. Then I begin a cybersecurity course. Then I learn a
Mm-hmm.
project
At
management
ALX
tool.
still?
Now sorry,
At
sorry,
ALX. At ALX still. Will you do the project management course
no,
at ALX, or like you're thinking more formal
I'm thinking
education,
more
like
formal
academia?
and more formal and okay, not academic necessarily, but very
Mm-hmm.
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's a okay during the LX course, because there are events that they would invite us to. Some of them were talking
Mm-hmm.
about like security in terms virtual security, like how to keep yourself safe online, things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm.
so now, like, there's a more formal way of, I don't know whether to call it a formal way of doing this, because I don't know if I would call like spaces like Moringa, for example, but no, more technical schools, more technical than even ALX. These
Mm-hmm.
are people who would be training like um, hackers, people who would be dealing with cybersecurity, in particular, like cybersecurity for banks and for large institutions and things like that. So institutions which center
Yeah.
around very serious work like that, those are the ones I want to target. But I have not gotten to that point yet. I just know those are the people I want to target, if that makes sense.
Okay, I have some information. I have some information for you on that. My
Mhm.
son was telling me that
Mhm.
that there's a whole industry on Thika
Mhm.
Road where
Mhm.
hackers are
Mhm.
basically paid to keep
Mhm.
all these institutions safe because they're the same people who steal money. When you hear about
Mhm.
like a 20-year-old millionaire was caught by cops, etc., etc., because they stole money from a bank virtually.
Mhm.
Apparently, they're all on
Mhm.
Thika Road, and the banks have
Mhm.
employed them
Mhm.
to essentially do their cybersecurity. Since they were able to hack it,
Mhm.
they were able then instead of paying a whole department to fight against
Mhm.
this person who has essentially won against the whole department, they hire the person who
Mhm.
stole their money to do their cybersecurity. Did you know about
Like
that?
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Mm.
That's actually a very, how's the word? What's the word? That's what is the word I'm looking for? That makes sense.
Yeah, it
But
does.
like
And
what I'm
it's
essentially what I'm essentially saying to Nini, you know how there's white hat, black hat, red hat, and grey hat.
yeah. I know
So
the
you're
white and
essentially
the black.
describing
I'm
black
not
hat.
sure about the
Uh-huh.
gray. I know the white and the black
So
hat. I don't know about the gray and the
yeah.
red.
So
What are the gray and the red?
uh so black hat, you're essentially describing black hat, by the way. Black hat.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Now,
Hackers.
what
Mm.
I would want to work, what essentially when I'm saying I want to work in cybersecurity, I'm saying I want to work in red hat. People who are
Mm-hmm. So what's the red? Mm.
essentially the guards guarding against black hat. Those are
Uh-huh.
red hat. Yeah.
Okay.
And how they would do that is essentially finding weaknesses in security systems and going to fix them is the
Fix them,
point.
yeah.
Although
Okay. Yeah.
let's be honest,
Watch the
the the main security issue is usually the person using the security system, but that's another story entirely.
That's true.
Gray hat is somebody who does both white and black hat tactics. So they might do something like
Mm,
they might do something like hold your documents for ransom or something like that, and you have to pay them in order, basically creating things like ransomware, and you have to pay them in order for them to unlock your systems. But they would
yeah.
do that for somebody who's say for example in an illegal trade. So they take hold of the illegal trade of somebody, then their systems, their whole systems, and then they force them to pay ransom for them to let the systems go, or something like that. And then you
Mm.
find that they'll do that, and then after that they'll still report them. So things like that, So they do both white
Very
hat and
complicated.
black hat. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's very
so
complicated.
they'll do both white hat and black hat nini tactics.
So is it a natural progression from being a virtual
Uh-huh.
assistant to going into cybersecurity? Is it a natural progression or is it
Okay,
a
as far as
personal
virtual
just
assistant,
element?
it's personal.
Mm,
It's personal. Because as far as virtual assistants, there's no natural progression. You can just as easily go
mm.
from being a virtual assistant to being a chief of staff somewhere, or being a virtual assistant into being like a HR manager. Like, it genuinely is no, there's no, there's no,
Would you say
how do I put
would
it?
you
There's no
say that
natural
kind
progression,
of
because it's more like a stepping stone into your particular um leanings. Yeah, whatever you lean towards. So it's just a stepping stone into whatever
so
you
it's
as a person lean
basically
towards.
it's it's basically a gateway. It's a
Yes,
gateway
exactly.
profession.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Mm.
Because it gives you a lot of skills and also a lot of it builds your network. Would you say that was true?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting.
Mm.
It's been illuminating. So, right now you're doing your
Uh-huh.
virtual stuff. Is it are
Uh-huh.
you planning to do the virtual assistant for 5 years, or do you intend like by the end of 5 years, you are now a cybersecurity expert slash hacker?
So the goal is by the end of the 5 years is when I'll be the cybersecurity person. Specifically, actually, not
Oh.
just cybersecurity, but
Mm-hmm.
sales for cybersecurity, a sales manager for cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Because another thing also, I am looking at where my leanings
Mm.
are, because I have always been very fearful, shall we say, or is it cautious? I've no, it's more fearful. Let me be honest. Fearful of ever since I learned what a hacker was, fearful of anything regarding that, in terms of leaking, for example, information about where I am or what I'm doing, or just information that could somehow harm me or the people around me. I've always been very
Mm.
fearful of that. So, somewhere in my journey, I decided to just take the bull by the horns and become the person who defends against it, instead of just being afraid all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
The best the best defense is a good offense or something.
Well, I'd say the best the best offense is a good defense, but meh, it actually goes both ways. Goes both
The
ways. Best
best
offense is a good
offense.
defense, and best defense is a good offense. Goes both ways.
I guess. Yeah. To be proactive. Basically be proactive.
Yes.
Okay, so this
Mm-hmm.
has been a very interesting talk, and I've certainly, me personally, I've learned a lot. Do you have any
I'm
like
glad.
advice for? Do you have any advice for anyone who is out there questioning, thinking for? Would you advise them to start here as their own gateway? What would you advise
Yes,
anyone
I
out there
would.
who is floundering?
Actually, actually, the first thing I would advise is to find some way
Mm,
to look back on your thoughts and have a self-knowledge journey. Let's just start there. Because to be honest,
mm-hmm.
you could even decide being a virtual assistant, and then the next day you decide you want to be an ophthalmologist or something else. Like,
Yeah.
have a self-knowledge journey, and then from there you can start down on the path of where you need to go. That's where it all began for me, to be honest. Because if I was not searching, I would not even have this path. And then learn how to ask questions, good questions that will actually help you.
How
Because
do you
out
learn
of
how to ask
everything,
the right questions? Uh-huh.
now, as for that, learning how to ask the right questions, you also need to learn how to observe, see what an actual, that's why the self-knowledge journey is very important, because you need to first be able to observe exactly whatever problem is you are facing, find out what you can do about it or what you can't do about it, and essentially ask questions from all directions that you can see. That's the best way you can say, looking, asking good questions. Because honestly speaking, sometimes it is the observation that reveals to you what the answer is before you even ask any questions. And then from there, after you have observed and you've gotten the first answer, then another one will
Expand,
arise.
wait, expand on
Hmm?
that. Expand on that.
Hmm.
Expand on that. Expand on the observation. It is the observation. Expand on that part of what you said. Like,
Okay, so
it is the observation which
now
might
this.
give you an answer
Mhm.
before you've
So
even
now
asked the
the reason why I
question.
say this,
Give
the
me an
reason why I say
example.
this is
Mm-hmm.
because I started journaling for a while, journaling and actually
Mm-hmm.
observing my thoughts and how they move from one to another and what causes these thoughts to even come about. When I started journaling and actually going back to what
Mm-hmm.
I wrote in my journals and seeing what was in my head and how I think, that's when I started seeing
Mm-hmm.
what observation can do in terms of growing, not just myself, but also the way I view my world and how I move through it. So essentially, this observation is just noting down, not in your head. I actually would advocate for writing down your own thoughts, seeing where your head is at, and then seeing after you observed this issue, you see if this is a problem that I can
Mm-hmm.
actually solve myself, and if,
Mm-hmm.
because usually after you've set down the thoughts and then you come back to it later, usually you have found the solution, or you are able to resolve it on the second look, more often than not. At least that's what I find for me. After you've given yourself time and
You're
you've
saying
put it away.
just going
Hmm.
back. Just just
Uh-huh.
going back. You're saying just going
Uh-huh.
back and reading through your thoughts as you write
Yes.
them will give you
Yes.
solutions to problems you've not even thought to
Yes.
ask a question about yet.
Yes.
Okay,
A lot of the time,
that's
that has
interesting.
helped me. Yeah, it
Mhm,
does. A lot of the time, that has helped me. And not just that, also, because it's like, how when you're writing something, you're writing like a blog post or a story or something of the sort, and then you leave it for a while and you come back to edit. You
mhm,
come with a fresh pair of eyes, and your mind
yeah,
has already set down whatever. So at that point, you'll be able to see it from the perspective of someone who is not currently invested in that work in the same way.
yeah.
You'll be able to
Mm,
to have like a different vantage point. So I took that approach with my thoughts.
okay.
Yeah.
And it led you to where do I, is it a matter of like when you're looking at your thoughts, it led you
Mhm.
to what was the question it answered before you asked the question?
My goodness, there are so many. Because honestly, I started this whole journaling story. Like I started in like 2022. Like it's been 3 years. There are so many. Because I was like, in seeing how I was thinking, that's when I came to realize
Mhm.
there's a problem with this thought process. And it's probably the reason why I am here where I am today. And this is something that I can actually solve through my own efforts in this particular direction. I did that with, let's see, for example, looking at what can I even build up on in order to create a social network. In which case I just sat down and was like, okay, these are my interests. What can I actually use to connect with people on? Then that's how I that's the most recent one anyway. That's how I tackled walking. I realized walking is one of the things I can do. Uh, Painting, um, building support systems for people, which since I'd already been doing like a few events here and there, I could just reach out to the people I
Mm-hmm.
already knew who do events and then talk to them about whatever support they might need, things of that nature. Like I was just looking at all the different avenues that would help me solve this from where I already sit. Because as it is, it's not like I have lived. I mean, I have not lived a long life, but I have lived a life. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what
Yep.
the part of the life that I have lived, what can I do, use
What
from
can
my
you
past to
take
help
from
my
life?
future? Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really interesting and very profound, if I do say so myself. So I interrupted you again. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You are
No,
giving
it's okay. It's very
advice.
okay.
You are giving advice.
Mhm.
You are giving, like, yeah. So continue giving advice.
So it's it is genuinely that just that because honestly speaking, we
Mm,
have more answers than we than we might believe we do. Sometimes looking at yourself as the solution or rather the problem solver is what actually
mm,
gets you going in the proper direction, the direction that will lead you to your version of success.
yeah.
So for me, my version of success is slowly being fulfilled, and it is going to be fulfilled even further because I know my wants will change as time goes on. But
Mm,
even in that change, the change is the only thing that's really constant in this life.
that's true.
So yeah,
If you can rely on anything, you can rely on things to change.
yes, yes. So
All
yeah,
right.
that's what I can say. Uh,
I want to thank you so much for your time and
of
for
course, you're
your
very welcome.
forthrightness and for just bringing your honesty to this conversation. I think it would be very helpful
Always.
to a lot of.
Yes, I
So
hope so.
yeah.
I hope so.
So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so I've stopped